Mirjana, tell me your opinion about the Mel Gibson divorce case.
Oh, I just heard about it. I heard that it has been written that his wife actually applied for divorce, and my understanding is that in California, she has to be granted a divorce and has to be granted all the goodies, half of it. Um, but what's interesting about Mel Gibson is that he is a very controversial figure. He has done some very interesting and very patriotic movies, and some very easily watched and even kind of inspiring, like The Patriot, like the movie about, and several others. Yet there was an incident where there was question about his anti-Semitism, and we do know that his father was a Holocaust denier. Now, Mel Gibson is a Catholic. In Catholicism, everybody is Orthodox in Catholicism. There is not like in Judaism, you can belong to one or another group and then have to adhere to certain laws to a lesser or a larger degree. In Catholicism, there are 10 commandments, and there is very, very clear what every Catholic should respect. I hear there was adultery in the case. A Catholic person should never, ever get involved in adulterous relationship. Sexual relationship is only allowed within the marriage, and there are no exceptions. Only within the marriage. If you are going to faithfully follow the tenets of the Catholic Church, the sexual relationship is only allowed in a marriage and has been sanctioned by church, therefore by God. And contraception is not allowed. The whole sexual relationships is sanctioned by God, and it is in actually for reproduction. And if you are going to be strict Catholic, that's what you have to adhere to.
So how do you explain this dichotomy between what he preaches? Do you think Mel Gibson feels guilty about what he's done?
I have not studied, Mel Gibson, but Mel Gibson, there is arrogance about him. The whole new church that he seems to preside over, and that has to be purer even than, nowadays Catholic Church. He's kind of being above and purer than the Pope, what Pope prescribes for the Catholics. He got caught. He might feel that he is above it, that he is above it all. And therefore, if he sins, it's very different than when pure mortals sin. I would not be surprised if that is an element in his particular.
Do you think that Mel Gibson's hypocrisy is a psychological issue for him? I notice I didn't say psychiatric, I said psychological.
He got caught. That has to hurt. That has to hurt badly. His narcissism, his power has been undercut. He's going to be questioned by others. That will hurt very, very badly. I really do not know much more about him to be more precise, but a little that I know about Mel Gibson, it seems to me that being caught is really the worst.
So being caught is the worst thing, but he is a celebrity, and he knows that there are paparazzi, and he knows that he's being watched. Do you think that maybe there was an underlying psychological need to be caught?
Most of the time, actually, that's quite interesting, but most of the time, when people do something that they really deeply feel they should not be doing, most of the time people actually undermine themselves. And sometimes that may lead to jail sentences, and I'm saying from the cases that I know, it's almost, you can't take the burden anymore, playing this dichotomy of where you are supposed to be and who are you telling to the world that you are and who you really are. And after a while, the tension becomes so great that you somehow yourself stage the downfall, and then it's almost relief.
And do you think it will now change his behavior and his attitude, having been caught?
Hopefully it will humble him. Um, this is the man who searches for meaning and searches for religious meaning, and he's spiritually alive, and he has spiritual needs that he's saying to us clear and loud. I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
Do you think this will change his behavior having been caught?
I think it will humble him. I think it will change his behavior. See, we are saying, yes, people are hypocritical. To live according to the tenets
Right.
of Catholic Church
Right.
is extremely, extremely hard. Even Catholic Church recognizes it, knows people are sinful, people are made of flesh and blood, and that's why we have Catholic Church gives to its adherents confessions and the possibility of purging yourself of your sin and elevating yourself to a higher place. In Mel Gibson's case, he didn't just say, well, I'm a hypocrite like everybody else. I'm sinful. If not hypocrite, I'm sinful. I try to be my best, but I don't always succeed. That's what good Catholic would tell you. I simply do not succeed. I'm not a saint. He elevated himself above the rest by breaking away from Catholic Church, by basically saying that what he and his father are practicing in his particular church is purer and better than what Pope or the rest of the Catholics practice. This way he puts himself as an example. As an example, he is the leader, and the leader, we know, should be and is always held to the higher grounds than the regular followers. So for him to simply live life as he likes it and tells you and the others preach what you should be doing, it's worse than what regular people do. He's not a regular Joe. Not because only of his money, his popularity, his visibility, his, his notoriety, but because he distinguished himself with this particular sect, I would say, of Catholicism, who actually elevates self beyond the tenets of the church in which he was born. Even someone who is this successful would very, very often, if not always, have strong narcissistic features. Would it be narcissistic person? Would it really rise to the conditions of narcissistic personality disorder? That would be hard to tease. I would really need to know the details of his life. But that there are strong narcissistic tendencies, that is for certain. With strong narcissistic tendencies goes the whole need of being worshipped, the need of being adulated, and in other way, just that need to be admired by itself leads to, quite often leads to unfaithfulness. Because, the new woman is a new woman. This is not your wife who sees you as a man with whom she is spending lifetime and knows the weaknesses and idiosyncrasies and things that are not so attractive. A new woman adores you.